Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2022. Hope everybody's having a great year so far. So I wanted to get into stress today because stress is a huge component of the work that I do with my clients, is trying to work through some of their stress. Now, stress comes in a lot of different forms. We've got physical stress, we've got emotional stress, we've got all types of stressors from the outside, from the inside. But the most important thing you have to realize is your brain and your body doesn't recognize what type of stress it is. It just understands the fact that it is stressed. So when you go and work out, that is actually a stress. Now, it ends up having good results at the end of it, but you are still stressing the body, you're stressing the muscles, you're stressing, the cardiovascular system, etc. Now, the most important thing as it relates to stress is, I'm sure, and you can put in the comment section, #stress, that the outside world, your job, your relationships, the way you feel about yourself, your self-esteem, causes a certain amount of stress in your life. Now, I'm going to present on how stress actually makes people gain body fat. It is really super important to understand this, particularly as you start an exercise program, that you start to change the way that you eat, that it isn't just about the fitness and nutrition component. It is about your mentality, your mindset, and how your body deals with stress. So, as I said before, there's different types of stressors. You've got your physical stress, you have your emotional stress, and your body really doesn't know the difference. Now, stress would be something that I put in quotation marks here, calorie-free, right? But it does have its physiological consequences, i.e. increased body fat. Now, when you have the fight or flight motion, which a lot of times we become so stressed with job and relationships that it almost becomes like it's just part of our everyday life. And we don't really realize how stressed we are until we start to do inner work, coaching, therapy, whatever the case may be, that we realize on the other side of it how stressed we actually were. And this really goes back into my 4 keys of really recognizing and being aware of what is actually going on. Because what I find very common with a lot of clients that I coach is they didn't really realize how stressed they were until we started working through some of the things that were bothering them. This could have been things from the past, this could be things in the present, it could be something that they're afraid of in the future. But we have to become aware of it in order for us to be able to take action with it. But when we have this fight or flight symptom, which is just your sympathetic nervous system really overloading you with hormones, because this goes back to evolutionary period of we didn't know when we were going to eat. We didn't know if we were going to get eaten by a tiger. So this is how we respond to certain situations. Either we fight or we run. So the physiological process happens, cortisol is going to be released. So as most people know, cortisol is your stress hormone. Now it gets kind of a bad rap as it relates to body fat, which is where we're going to dive into today. But it actually is a necessity. That's why we have it. We're not designed to be constantly overstressed. You work too much. You've got emotional trauma from the past that you never dealt with. You're not getting enough sleep. You're having relationship problems. Your body's not designed for that amount of stress all the time. And number 1, it can make us fat. And number 2, it can kill us. So what ends up happening is cortisol gets released. You're downregulating the glucose that is going to be absorbed by your muscles. Your muscles are going to absorb glucose or sugar, for just lack of a better term. And that's what happens. What ends up happening is because cortisol is over-released constantly, this stops this process. It increases the amount of muscle tissue that we start to break down to create energy. We take our muscle tissue down, our fat intake starts to increase, which is where you get the increase in body fat percentage, which leads us to here, which is our visceral fat, which is the fat is around your organs. That starts to increase. So our muscles going down and our fat is going up, which is the wrong direction of where we want to be as it relates to body composition goals and just the way that we look. Hell, everybody wants to look great naked, right? Well, when we're constantly overstressed, it's going to be super difficult. And I really am honest with people. You're not going to get the physical results that you want if you're constantly overstressed, if you're not sleeping, if you're not eating the foods that are going to enhance your body, if your outside world your inside world is constantly in a fight or flight mode, your body's not going to get the results that you want. That is because we're not designed to be overstressed all the time. We're still trying to adapt to this new world of just so many things. Social media stresses it out. Politics, the way the world is, unhealed traumas from the past, all of these different things that cause us to be in this fight or flight mode. Now, here's the end all be all. This is where I come in as a coach, is what I try to do with clients who have this issue, okay, when they are overstressed. They've got the unhealed things from the past, that boogeyman that's constantly on their shoulders, that's telling them that they're not good enough, that's telling them that they're never going to amount to anything, and have that all or nothing mentality, that black or white mentality of I'm either in or I'm out, that perfectionism where we're afraid to do something because we're afraid to fail. So this is where I come in. So these are our stress fighters. Number one, exercise. It's one of the simplest things that we can start to do, whether it be walking for 20 minutes, whether it be coming into a gym and working out, whatever the case may be. That is going to help us fight stress. Now, as I said, this is and can be a stressor. But when we're constantly stressed out and then we go into work out in a high intensity interval training or something that's going to constantly just whack us out, again, not a good mixture. But this is why coaching is so important, is to have somebody to guide you on what's going to be appropriate for you given the circumstances that you are dealing with. One of the unnoted things that people miss about this entire process as it relates to coaching. Sleep is a big one. If you're not sleeping, your body never has the ability to rest. It causes our stress to go up. It causes us to gain fat. So even though they're not directly related, okay, people can get 5 hours of sleep and still be in the greatest shape of their life. It does cause this, as I said, as we continuously are in this fight or flight mode. And then the last one, which I think is truly the most important, because it is the root cause of where we are, is the inner work. And those are the things that I really pride myself on in my work with clients, to pair the fitness and nutrition with the inner work to bridge the gap so that not only are we getting the physical results that we want, but we're also letting go of some of the just gunk and shit that we've been carrying around with us for so long, that narrative that we built about ourselves, to then rebuild a new narrative so that we show up in situations the best way possible and stress-free in most cases, so that we can perform at our best. So with that said, I'm taking on 5 coaching clients for 2022, just 5. And program is very simple. Like I said, it's a bridge between the fitness and nutrition side so that we're getting that physical results, but it's also this inner component, this inner work to redefine who we are and really come home to ourselves. Not the narrative that we've told about ourselves, that we're not good enough, that we're not safe, that we're always going to fail, and we're not perfect. This narrative that we built about ourselves, really being able to eliminate these self-limiting beliefs so that we can become the best version of ourselves. So how do you get started on this process? Easy. You just reach out to me and then we have a conversation. It's really that simple. So it's not for everybody, but it may be for you. #value if you found value in anything that I said today. I hope everybody has a happy and a healthy day. I'll see you on the flip side. Woo!